If you're injured and you're regularly taking part in a sport or a physical activity, then I'm going to just suggest maybe you need to take some time off. Now, of course, if you're a professional athlete who's getting paid and that's your sole source of income, it's going to be more difficult for you to take time off the sport. If, however, you are a non-professional athlete, so you're not getting paid, so essentially it's more of a hobby than a profession, you are probably going to do yourself no favors by continuing to train. Now, I'm involved in a lot of sport, I work with a lot of athletes, and the passion to do the sport often outweighs the patience required to take time off. But if you are not taking time off the sport, potentially that problem is going to get worse. If that problem gets worse, that could mean you may end up having to take months off training. In the short term though, if you took some time off right now, potentially that could mean you take a week to 2 weeks off your training. So the question I ask a lot of my athletes, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, would you rather take 2 weeks off training, or would you rather take 4 to 6 months off training? It may seem like a real bummer to take time off, but sometimes you've just got to let things heal. Now, I'm involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so a lot of the time people are getting shoulder injuries, neck injuries, elbow injuries, knee injuries, you name it, any joint in the body, we're probably getting injured. So we need to take the time off to let those injuries heal. If you don't, potentially the next time you go back into training, there could be that one technique or the one movement that actually takes it too far, leading to a very serious injury. So if you are training, if you are involved in sport and you have injured yourself, whether it is in that sport or outside of that sport, take some time off, let yourself heal. But that doesn't mean you stop training altogether. Let's say, for example, you've got a knee injury. There are things that you can do in the gym that you can work the upper body. And likewise, if you've got a shoulder injury, you can still train the lower body. If you've got a back problem, maybe there are exercises that you can find where you sit and stabilize your torso while just using your arms. So taking time off training doesn't mean taking time off movement or exercise in total. It just means taking time off the thing that's making it worse. So what can you do to modify your training so that you can stay fit while taking time out? So when you do come back and you are more pain-free, that you haven't completely lost everything. Now, if it's something very technical, for example, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, perhaps you can still go and observe, perhaps you can still learn certain techniques without having to actually physically do them. So you can watch, you can go to the place where you practice, you can watch online. So there's a lot of things that you can do around your injury. It doesn't mean you have to sit home and do nothing and get out of shape so that when you go back to training, you're even worse than when you did it before.